chill, you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. In our major story, the Supreme Court dismisses an appeal brought by a member of the People's Democratic Party on the eligibility of President Goodluck Jonathan to contest in the 2015 elections. Also in this program, Department of State Security Service arrests Governor Shetima's aide, 6 others over false information on Ali Modu Sharif's alleged links to Boko Haram. President Goodluck Jonathan says Nigeria is not surprised by the slump in oil prices. Outside Nigeria, Taliban gunmen massacre over 100 people in attacks on army school in Peshawar, Pakistan. And now the details. The Supreme Court has dismissed an appeal brought by a member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Umar Ado, who is seeking to join a suit challenging the eligibility of President Goodluck Jonathan to contest next year's presidential election. A 7-man panel headed by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Mahmood Mohammed, in the ruling held that the appeal was not only faulty but also caused unnecessary delay in the hearing of a pending substantive appeal before the Court of Appeal in Abuja. Ado had gone to the Supreme Court to challenge an earlier decision of the Court of Appeal Abuja, which disallowed him from joining a pending appeal against the decision by Justice Mudashiru Oniyogi of a Federal Capital Territory High Court on the matter. Ado's lawyer, Abiodun Amuda Kanike, succumbed to pressure by the justices of the Supreme Court, who advised him to withdraw the appeal. Justice Mohammed faulted the appeal on the grounds that it was unwarranted and had stalled the hearing of the main appeal still pending before the Court of Appeal. Other members of the panel also noted that the appeal lacked merit and reminded Amuda Kanike that his integrity was at stake if he refused to withdraw the appeal. The CJN urged the lawyer to withdraw the suit so the Court of Appeal could reach a decision on the matter. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has adjourned indefinitely the suit filed by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, to stop attempts to declare his seat vacant as a result of his defection to the All Progressives Congress. This is because of an appeal filed by people of Kebe and Tambuwal Federal Constituency of Sokoto State, who were barred from joining the suit as defendants. When the case came up for hearing on Tuesday, counsel for the parties seeking to be joined, Israel Olorundade Dari and Moyosore Onigbanjo, informed the court that they had filed a stay of proceedings at the Court of Appeal. They consequently urged the court to stop further hearing in the matter pending the determination of the appeal. Tambuwal's lawyer Lateef Fagbemi on his part pushed for indefinite adjournment as mark of respect to the appellate court, while noting that the High Court would be notified as soon as the matter is disposed of. In a short ruling, Justice Ahmed Mohammed said once a matter is at the Court of Appeal, the lower court has no power to adjudicate on it. It consequently adjourned indefinitely to await the outcome of the appeal. The trial of former Gombe State Governor Senator Danjuma Goje on charges bordering on conspiracy and money laundering was on Tuesday stalled on grounds of ill health. Goje, who is standing trial alongside 3 others before Justice Babatunde Quadri of the Federal High Court in Gombe, was not in court. Its counsel, Adeniyi Akintola, presented a medical report which is said emanated from the National Assembly Clinic to explain the absence of his client. EFCC counsel Wahab Shitu on his part argued that the medical report was forged while wondering why the accused person was healthy enough to attend political rallies. The case was, however, adjourned till March 17th and 18th, 2015 for continuation of hearing. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says electing All Progressives Congress governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode in the governorship election is the only way to sustain the tempo of development in the state. Fashola made the appeal at the unveiling of Lagos State Development Plan between 2012 and 2025. Abiola Oluwole was there. His report is presented from our studio.
The 15 years development plan, according to the state's government, is to ensure a framework for a sustainable development. Prior to the presentation of the plan, which in the words of Governor Babatunde Fashola is strategic for the development Lagos has recorded over the years. The plan is meant to further position the state as a major economic hub in Africa. Fashola says voting Akinwumi Ambode, the APC governorship candidate in the next general election, is the only way to ensure uninterrupted development in Lagos.
I can reveal to you today, one of the things that helped me most on the first day I took this job was that the day I arrived in that office, I knew the head of service by name and by face. I knew all of the permanent secretaries who were going to work with me by name and by face. And I knew most of the directors who were going to work with me by name and by face. And I knew how this government worked because I was part of the team that made it work. This state is too important to be left in the hands of those who want to experiment with it. Keep it in very safe hands.
The World Bank representative Jaria Ofima restated the commitments of the World Body to work with the state to actualize the development plan.
They have strong interest in seeing the successful implementation of this plan. In this context, they will monitor closely the implementation of the plan to ensure that it delivers the outcome that is promised in the plan.
The event came to climax with the handing over of the development plan to Akinwumi Ambode by Fashola.
The heat is on between the 2 major political parties in the state, the APC and the PDP, to know which political party will produce the next governor of Lagos State. Oluwaseyi Adegoke went to town and had a meeting with the state publicity secretaries of both parties. Her report.
With the emergence of Akinwumi Ambode and Jimmy Agbaje as the governorship candidates of both the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party for the 2015 general elections, the stage is set for some verbal jousting with the All Progressives Congress, as describing the PDP as a party that has nothing to offer the people of Lagos.
PDP has no structures in Lagos, and PDP can never win Lagos. You know why I said so? We are looking at what they did in 16 years as federal government, because they were the ones in power. They are still in power. And what APC did in Lagos, whether it is AD, Action Congress of Nigeria, and then now APC, what we have done, especially in Lagos in the past 16 years, compare and contrast.
For his part, the publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos, Taufik Gani, says the PDP is the only party that can change Lagos.
The APC in Lagos State has lost the confidence of the electorate, and the PDP has rather gained all that the APC has lost in the hands of the electorate. And so we have also been able to show to Lagosians that were indeed ready by the outcome of the governorship primary. We will also be sending this to APC that the time is up.
While the verbal missiles continue to fly, the quality of representation of both parties and the veracity of their claim will be tested at the elections by the people of Lagos in 2015. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Benue State Governor Gabriel Suswam has lashed out at politicians who dumped their original parties after failing to pick nomination ticket. He was speaking in reaction to the defection of former Minister of State for Trade and Investments to the All Progressives Congress, where he was handed the party's governorship ticket. Suswam told State House correspondents in Abuja that such people neither have principles nor ideologies.
We change our undergarments, and I find that very unfortunate. My minister has been a great beneficiary of the PDP, and the most transparent primaries were held in Benue. Most transparent. That is why nobody is complaining about the primaries. People just want position. Once they don't get it, they swing. And so I find that very unfortunate. That is why we're having the problem we're having. You know, the other parties wait for another party to have problems, then they can get people. I don't think politics, if we continue to practice politics in the country in that manner, then we will not get anywhere. I don't see us growing in terms of party democracy. People just want position. It's not to serve, because if you are to serve and you don't get it today, you can get it tomorrow.
A high-powered delegation of the All Progressives Congress has visited former Vice President Atiku Abubakar a few days after its presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari held talks with the former aspirant. The delegation, which was led by APC national leader Bola Tinubu, was at Atiku's residence on Tuesday night for a closed-door meeting. Details of the meeting, also attended by Osun State Governor Rauf Aregbesola, were not disclosed, but CoreTV News learned that it is part of ongoing efforts to build consensus among party leaders ahead of the 2015 elections. Former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Nuri Badu, also turned up for a separate meeting with the former vice president. Ribadu is the gubernatorial candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Adamawa State. President Goodluck Jonathan has written to congratulate the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, on his 72nd birthday anniversary, which comes up on Wednesday, December 17th. Presidential spokesman Reuben Abati said in a statement that Jonathan wished his opponent in next year's election many years of good health and personal fulfillment. Presidential spokesman Reuben Abati quotes him as extending the wishes to the former head of state on behalf of his family and all Nigerians. It's the CoreTV Primetime News. We'll go on a short break and we'll be back with more stories. Please stay with us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Professor. My former students. Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Thank you for being there. And for more news and other information, you can visit our social media platform. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter, at CoreTV News MJ. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, /the news. And in case you're just joining us, here are the stories that made our headlines. The Supreme Court dismisses an appeal brought by a member of the People's Democratic Party on the eligibility of President Goodluck Jonathan to contest in the 2015 elections. Department of State Service arrests Governor Shetima's aide, 6 others over false information on Alimodu Sharif's link to Boko Haram. President Goodluck Jonathan says Nigeria was not surprised by the slump in oil prices. Security operatives have arrested an aide of Borno State's Governor Kashim Shettima and 6 others who allegedly conspired to link former Governor Alimodu Sharif to Boko Haram. Some of the suspects were also said to have presented themselves as insurgent leaders to the Australian hostage negotiator Stephen Davis. Spokesperson of the Department of State Service, Marilyn Orga, paraded the suspect at a news conference in Abuja, where the suspects also spoke of their roles in spreading falsehood. The police authorities are now to consider junior officers with university degrees for promotion to senior ranks. A circular to that effect was issued on December 15th to all commands and formations across the country. Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba directed that names of all 7 inspectors and rank and file with degrees and other tertiary qualifications be compiled for processing. Holders of HND, OND, and NCE are also to be considered for promotion. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has declared a Chinese national, Liu Zuzi, wanted in connection with an alleged case of conspiracy, bribery, and embezzlement of funds. The suspect, who until recently was deputy manager of Sanju Sani Nigeria Limited and China Railway Engineering Nigeria Limited, is alleged to have connived with 3 others to defraud the companies of millions of naira. EFCC said in a statement that Zuzi defrauded the companies by collecting money in naira and foreign exchange, which it claimed were meant to bribe officials of various Nigerian agencies, state governments and banks. The anti-graft agency added that a number of suspects in the scam have been quizzed, but all efforts to track the 32-year-old Zuzi have been futile. The fuel scarcity that has developed as a result of the oil workers' strike seems to have taken a turn for the worse in Kaduna State, as most filling stations are under lock and key. With areas such as Amadu Bello Way, Edugen having the filling stations closed for business, while petrol now sells for 100 naira at most filling stations, and black marketers having a field day selling 4 liters of fuel for 700 naira. Some motorists spoke to CoreTV News on the issue.
I've been here for almost 5 hours now. I came in here around 8 a.m. Wow. I started from the back till I got here. To get fuel in our vehicle. 5 hours. Oh, 5 hours, yes. By 1 p.m. it will be 5 hours. Wow. Okay.
Line everywhere. I just, you know Nigeria style now. I just ran over to enter here. But I used to buy here before at 97. So now it may be different. Or there may be some bribe. Actually, I don't know. I can't tell. But I heard that they strike. So maybe it's a NOPEG or what they call them. And
it's not to the government, it's to the people that are doing it. The government is not the one carrying the whole body. It's everybody. So we don't know why they are striking. You know, we don't know the reason for the strike.
We may not really know the cause of this problem, because like last week we were hearing that different Johnson that they've been backing on.
It's like these people are just making life difficult, as you can see. Most especially during this season, it has been like that every year, which is very wrong. So I don't know whether we are to blame government for this or to blame the fuel organizations. So if
the federal government is to present the 2015 budget to the National Assembly on Wednesday through Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. President Goodluck Jonathan says in a letter to the Senate that the minister would lay the budget before the two chambers at 11 a.m. in line with Section 81 of the Constitution. The government is, however, not prepared to set a new benchmark for its spending plan in spite of the global oil slump. President Jonathan explained that having initially reviewed the oil benchmark from $78 a barrel to $65, the government is sticking with the new figure. This, according to him, is because of indications that oil price in 2015 may range between $65 and $70 a barrel. The president assured the lawmakers that the country would have to make further adjustments if prices fall below the range. Speaker of the House of Representatives Aminu Tambuwal on Tuesday overruled efforts to stall the 2015 budget by insisting that President Goodluck Jonathan can delegate any government officials to present the spending plan to federal lawmakers. This was after Minority Leader Femi Gbajabiamila had wondered why Minister of Finance Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala would present the budget instead of the president. He had argued that President Jonathan had since 2013 been delegating the minister to lay the budget rather than make a presentation to a joint sitting of the National Assembly. Deputy Majority Leader Leo Ogo cited Section 81 of the Constitution to justify the president's position before Speaker Tambuwal emphasized that the president is not bound to personally make the budget presentation. And ahead the presentation of the 2015 budget estimates to the National Assembly, some senators have expressed mixed feelings on the development. While some see it as the continuation of a yearly ritual of late presentation, others say it is better late than never.
There is a lot that is not right again. Everything the government is doing now seems to be very tentative and, impulsive, and which shows that they are no longer coordinated. If not, why are they just coming out? And why tomorrow? Why not give enough notice or something, So it was a surprise that, most of the early morning today, it was letters from Mr. President. I grew up in Nigeria at the point when it is January 1, everybody will be waiting. Businessmen, civil servants, everyone will be waiting to listen to the budget. The budget, everything is suspended for the budget to be read because they believe that the budget is going to have impact on their life all through the year.
It's better to have a budget than not to have one at all. So even if Nigerians are saying it's late, the truth of the matter is that what we're more concerned about is the implementation of the budget. We've had a series of budget presented, and we believe that it shouldn't just remain a mere ritual. It's something that must be consistently gauged by the quality of implementation, and that's the area of focus. I strongly believe that the Senate, as well as the House of Representatives, will get to a point where they will have to re-examine how quickly they can look at these documents. This is not the first time that budgets have been presented, and I strongly believe that in the interest of Nigerians, these very important instruments of economic development of the state, of the nation, will definitely become the prime focus of the legislative chambers.
Nigeria joins the rest of the world in commemorating the International Human Rights Day on the 16th of December in an event organized by West African Women Association, WAWA. The program, with the theme Curbing Gender-Based Violence, had in attendance women leaders, the Nigerian police and school pupils. The report is presented from our studio.
It beats me for hours. And after that, I cried in our dialect for war. And people came. They did not believe what was happening. And when they came to rescue me, and I was taken to the hospital, they concentrated his fist on my jaw.
The 2014 International Human Rights Day was used as a platform to address the issue of gender-based violence and abuses, which these women rights activists say statistics show that women are the major victims.
The World Health Organization estimates that at least 1 in every 5 of the world's female population has been physically or sexually abused at some time. So we see the magnitude.
Silence in the face of physical abuse, according to speakers at the event, is not an option.
We, the women ourselves, we must agree to work together. We are not working together, I'm sorry to say. If we are committed, we can do it. We can cope the situation. We can stop it. But there must be a commitment. The women are succumbed to either they will just say, okay, I don't want to shout, I don't want to make trouble, I want to keep my job, I want to keep my home. I think those are the issues that we are talking about. They should be able to say it the way they see it, say it. And that will be a lesson. And that will be, you are driving home the fear that if you do such a thing quietly, it can be no more quiet. It will have to be said loud and clear.
The Nigerian police, represented by the DPO of Onikon Police Division at the event, say cases of gender-based abuse are always treated with a lot of importance by its personnel.
There is family support in Lagos here. At Adenijadele, they are empowered. It is a sort of it's a synergy between the Nigerian police and all other NGOs. We take cases to court if it requires. But if it is the type we can sort of give them counseling, we counsel the family.
Gender-based violence is on the rise in societies all over the world, and the most efficient way of curbing it is to speak out. Ebulomo. It's the CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and we'll return with business, sports and other stories from outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
And now to business stories. President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday insisted that the government was not caught unawares by falling oil prices. Jonathan said this at the launch of the Youth Employment in Agriculture program and the Fund for Agricultural Finance in Nigeria at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He explained that the likelihood of oil slump was the reason his administration took a bold step to diversify the country's revenue base by launching the Agricultural Transformation Agenda 3 years ago. Nigeria's Petroleum Resources Minister Dezani Alison Maduke was on Tuesday appointed as president of the Gas Exporting Countries Forum as its 16th ministerial meeting holding in the Qatari capital city of Doha. The meeting says because she is deeply involved in negotiations with Nigeria's two main oil workers' unions, Pegasan and Nupeng, who on Monday embarked on a strike over a long list of demands, which includes the adoption of the delayed petroleum industry bill aimed at overhauling the sector and maintenance work on oil refineries. Nigerian ambassador to Qatar, Shuaibu Adamu Ahmed, and NNPC's Group Executive Director, Gas and Power, David Ige, are representing Alison Madwike at the forum. Despite the fall in crude oil prices, the Secretary General of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries has urged Gulf states to continue investing in oil field development. Oil prices has fallen to a 4%, leaving the benchmark U.S. oil prices at $57.81 a barrel, their lowest level since May 2009. OPEC countries account for 4% of global oil production, but benchmark crude oil prices plunged in London last month following the OPEC meeting, with Brent crude sinking 6.2% to $69.11 a barrel. Meanwhile, Afrin has discovered an oil field on Block 1101 onshore Madagascar. Detailed analysis of the cause will be undertaken in the first quarter of 2015 to confirm the nature and extent of the hydrocarbons. The House of Representatives has ordered an investigation into Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, on the frequent increase of electricity tariff. NERC was proposing a further hike in electricity bill this month, December, thereby causing more pain to Nigerians than they can already bear. A member from Kano State, Ali Madaki, who raised the issue on the floor, noted that there was no justification for asking already impoverished Nigerians to pay a higher tariff on power that they did not enjoy. Almost 7 years later, the country was not nearing 4,000 megawatts. The House came to a conclusion that NERC should stop the planned increase in electricity tariff pending the outcome of the investigation. The investigation will be conducted by the House Committee on Power. The Naira firmed against the dollar on the interbank market on Monday. The local currency closed at 178 Naira, 70 kobo to a dollar. The Naira has been under pressure on concerns over falling global oil prices and depleting forex reserves. The local currency has lost 12% since January this year. Let's now join Sabena Zoku for news of the happenings on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabena Izoku. The equities market on the Nigerian Stock Exchange floor ended on a negative note today. The All Shares Index depreciated by 2.30% to close at 29,789.59 basis points. In the same manner, market capitalization went down to close at 9.8 trillion naira. A total of 261 million units of shares valued at 3.29 billion naira were exchanged in 4,108 deals. On the gainer side, Nestle topped the gainers chart to close with 783 naira, with a difference of 8 naira, followed by 7-Up, Extransact, Air Service, and Guinness. On the flip side, Seplat Oil topped the losers chart, followed by Dangote Cement, Nigerian Brewers, Waco, and Capstone. Meanwhile, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings topped the trainers chart, followed by Guarantee Trust Bank, Zenith Bank, Diamond Bank, and Transcorp. Just to wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Frank Omalape for Sports Stories.
Our style, that's what he delivered.
Well, thank you for joining us on Sports News tonight. I am Franco Malape. Warri Wolves, Nigeria's representatives in next year's CAF Confederation Cup, have sacked 12 players in what the management described as a move to get better productivity. Wolves have also registered 23 for the CAF Confederation Cup, while also making the decision to promote 2 players from the feeder team and adding 3 new players who will be scouted for in Delta State. The managing director of the team, Davison Onwumi, says the management team had to take the actions he described as drastic and will now resume camping in January for the new season, while also expecting some players from Crown FC, FC Taraba, Akwa United and Sunshine Stars. Former Nigeria international Garba Lawal, Ivorian international and Manchester City midfielder Yahya Toure is worthy to be named 2014 African Player of the Year, having won the award in 2013. According to Lawal, it will be a miracle to see the duo of Ahmed Musa and Vincent Enyama beat the informed Elephants captain to the honor. Though he says he would like to see a Nigerian win it, but owing to the performance of the Ivorian for his club, it will be very difficult for them to do so. He also pointed out the factors which he says will go against Enyama, whose club Lille has struggled this season, while Ahmed Musa's performance is not seen on a regular basis due to the absence of the Russian league on television. Kanu Nwankwo was the last Nigerian to be named Africa's best after seeing off the challenge from Ghana's Sam Akufo and Cote d'Ivoire's Ibrahima Bakayoko to emerge victorious in 1999. French striker Thierry Henry has confirmed his retirement from professional football after 2 decades and will become a TV analyst for Sky Sport in England. The Frenchman, who is Arsenal's record highest goal scorer, confirmed in a statement on his Facebook page that he will like to help Arsenal win the Champions League. Henry, 37, a world and European champion with France, had a illustrious career that took him to clubs such as Monaco, Juventus, Arsenal and Barcelona in Europe, while he joined New York Red Bulls after winning the Champions League in 2009 with Barcelona. Though the bulk of his career was spent at the Arsenal, where he developed into one of the most feared centre forwards in the game under Arsene Wenger and eventually became the club's record goal scorer after initially taking time to settle. He was voted as PFA Player of the Year twice, while he also won the Premier League Golden Boot 4 times, as well as being a vital part of the Arsenal team of 2003 and 2004, known as Invincibles. And Miss Roy has added to his trophy collection for 2014 by picking up the European Tour Golfer of the Year award. The Northern Irishman, 25, who is also world #1, won the BMW PGA Championship before back-to-back major success at the Open and US PGA. Mr. Roy also won the WGC Bridgestone Invitational as he topped the race to Dubai standings as helped Europe to a Ryder Cup victory at the Glen Eagles. Mr. Roy, who also won the award in 2012, added that he is proud to be named the European Tours Golfer of the Year for a 2nd time. Mr. Roy led the way in earnings on the US PGA Tour, becoming the first player to top the money list on both sides of the Atlantic in the same season on 2 occasions, having been named Golfer of the Month in May, July and August. He was unanimously voted the top player for 2014 and he becomes the youngest multiple winner of the coveted award. Mr. Roy won the race to Dubai Crown by a dominant 2,168.410 points from Henrik Stenson, the 2013 Golfer of the Year. Well, and that's it on Sport News tonight. The rest of the news continues shortly.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And now to other stories outside Nigeria. Taliban attack in an army-run school in Pakistan has resulted in the death of at least 130 people, most of them children, in one of the country's bloodiest attacks in recent years. Witnesses described how a huge blast shook the Army Public School in the northwestern city of Peshawar, and gunmen went from class to classrooms, shooting children. Distraught parents were seen thronging the city's Lady Reading Hospital in the wake of the attack, weeping uncontrollably as children's bodies arrived and their school uniforms drenched in blood. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan claimed responsibility for the attack as retaliation for a major military offensive in the region, saying they had been ordered to shoot older students. The attack began around 10:30 a.m. when a group of at least 5 insurgents, reportedly in military uniforms, entered the school and ended almost 5.5 hours later. Spokesman General Asim Bajwa says the attackers had been cleared from all but one of the school's buildings and 5 of the militants had been killed.
We were doing our schoolwork. Suddenly we heard firing and teacher told us not to be afraid. Maybe the college drill started. Then we saw army came into the school. Suddenly an army officer came and told us, "You all have to go out from the school back door."
And that's it on CoreTV Primetime News for tonight. But before we call it a wrap, here is a quick recap of our major stories. The Supreme Court has dismissed an appeal brought by a member of the People's Democratic Party on the eligibility of President Goodluck Jonathan to contest the 2015 elections. The Department of State Service arrested Governor Shatima's aide and 6 others over false information on Alimodo Sharif's alleged links to Boko Haram. President Goodluck Jonathan asserts Nigeria was not surprised by the slump in oil price. And now we call it a wrap. Thanks for staying with us tonight. Have a pleasant night rest. I am Ebunlomo Adekunle.